52 videos. Today marks 1 year of a weekly video on this channel. Pardon, there is a pig in the background, so there will be a bit of oinking. But today's video is a commemorative one. We're going to be celebrating 52 videos. I'm going to talk about why I did this and what I have learned. Let's start with the why. I did this because back when I started this channel about 5-6 years ago at this point, about maybe 6 or 7 months into making videos, I told myself if I made a video every week, I would grow the channel drastically. And I ended up not being able to follow through on that up until honestly now, this point. I thought it would be easier than it realistically was, but at the time the videos we were making were extremely complex and took a ton of editing, and I was, working and going to school and doing a lot of things that were taking my time off of it. The channel was abandoned and restarted multiple times, and it took reaching a point of stability to even be able to fathom the 52. And I will tell you, in the things I've learned, I don't even think this counts as that core essence, because these were not like 52 freaking like immaculately produced videos, but more on that as we get into the learnings. So what are the top 3 things I learned? Well, number 1, this is probably, you could leave the video after this one if you're trying to actually gain insight from this, but figure out what format you're supposed to be doing to grow your channel before you try to do consistent output. If no one is watching your videos, there's probably a reason for that. You can really make YouTube videos nowadays that do go viral. You can condense them and make them edited and have storylines and have, the arcs and watch time and metrics and retention and all of that in mind. And you can pick SEO buzzwords, and you can pick things that have existing, algorithms that you can insert yourself into, and all of those things are out there. And if you're actually trying to grow a channel, focus on that before you tell yourself, I need to output on a consistent basis. Because if you haven't figured out that, then you're not actually going to, the consistency is not going to matter that much, which is kind of what this channel is not really optimized growth. This has more so been a journal. It's been a, as I've had jobs all year, I have used this as an outlet for some of the more insane things I think about and insane things I see online. And these videos are very quick, scrapped together. They have minimal through lines and themes, unless you're, familiar with the very wide fleshed out, SEO of memetics, which, go fucking Google memetics. You're not going to get that much. There's not really an algorithm for this. That is the backbone, which I think people who follow this channel follow, but that's not something that's going to like fly for reaching hundreds of thousands or millions of views. If I was to be more optimized around growth, if I were to start that again at the top of this year, what I would do is focus on all my effort on one video. Make the Mr. Beast method, make like the best video possible every single time, and then kind of hone into a cadence. If I had figured out like a rhythm and certain beats and series and ideas that people actually liked and wanted to scale, and I was able to reach bigger audiences. So, coming into this, I think in the back of my head, I was like, oh, everyone always says make videos consistently and you'll grow, which is true. But if you actually want to like skyrocket in growth, which I wouldn't really say was the aim of this, but it is a lesson from this, consistent output doesn't do that. You need to actually learn how to make a perfect video before consistency matters that much. My cameraman is telling me my hair is going crazy. Numero dos is, consistency does grow your base. That is true. I think I did something similar to this year about 3 years ago, where I did 48 videos in the span of 48 days, or maybe it was 44. And over that time, my base was about maybe like 200 to 300 recurring viewers on every video. I would say for this project, it's kind of grown from, let's say, that number to closer to like 1,500 to 2,000, which I think that consistency is good for that. It is about growing that core base who's always going to be, riding with the content, will listen to you talk about all kinds of different things, which I will say I'm thankful for. There's a lot of interesting things going on in the comment sections, a lot of very clever and smart minds and a lot of, you know, occasional bots and very foolish and angry people, and it is what it is, you know. Drop whatever you feel down in the comments. I'm willing to hear it all out. But consistency does grow that, and I think that's been very fun about this, is seeing, you know, who are the people who are following the project, who are the people who are paying attention to the little, you know, repeating micro themes. But yeah, I guess learning number 3, give me a second, I might have to cut because I forgot what it was, but learning number 3 was just respect for people who do this full time. You know, I think there was a point in my life where I thought maybe this channel would be a full-time thing, that I was like, this is gonna be everything for me. That changed pretty almost immediately. Sorry, there's possums in the background too, and they're climbing on a blanket. Oh, he's fallen, look at that. There was a point where I thought this was gonna be full-time many years back, and you know, that initial 52 in my head was like, I want to be a media company. I want to take this as serious as possible. But as I've gone more out into the workforce and worked in these industries, I've been like, this is extremely time consuming, you know, to make content that has retention constantly. Like, there's a reason BuzzFeed failed. There's a reason so many media companies like College Humor and all these like entities that probably dominated your childhood, or at least if you're as terminally online and in the general age range of me, you probably know and remembered seeing them everywhere online. Then you see them fall apart. It's because doing this as a career path, although, you know, in the far, you know, Pareto distribution instances is extremely lucrative, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely time consuming. It's extremely time consuming, and I have a ton of respect for people who actually do this, because even to do the 52 a week, and if you've watched all these videos, you've known I'm like throwing them together. It's not like immaculate, intricate editing. It's extremely difficult, especially if you're doing other things in your life. Like this is a full-time thing if you want to take it seriously. And so, you know, learning is respect the grind, and you have to really want to do this if you're going to want to do this, you know. Which I think, given how many people want to be creators nowadays, given it's the most desired thing for children, I think it's lost upon a lot of them how much goes into the hustle. There's exceptions. There's people who just throw themselves on camera once and immediately have an audience and a career, but most of the time, if you're trying to actually make it something that's scalable and gonna like feed you indefinitely, as like a career, it's a ton of work, and it's, you know, not something I'm all too interested in. I don't really want to be, you know, beholden to the algorithm. I find if you've watched this channel, you could probably just go back into I think it's maybe like episode 17 of this year, the Parasocial Agency one, where I just talk about like the bigger goal with the channel and where I'm going to be taking it from here on out is I really enjoy like viral projects. I like showing all the things I talk about in action. So it's not just me, you know, talking at you, it's me showing all of the ways that these are like actual principles that can be acted upon, and the ways that I do this in my work. And, you know, there's some stuff you can do in work, then there's stuff you can do that's like a lot crazier, which is the kind of stuff I want to show y'all. So moving forward, expect fewer videos, but expect more thought through videos. I'm going to take a break for a little bit, but I would like to come back with big projects, very cool, exciting, like long form, thought through stuff. You know, bits about the work I'm doing out in the real world, the application of all of the things we talk about here. But thank you so much for joining me on an entire year. As always, it is what it is, and I will see you in a little bit.